the US President Donald Trump has told the US media that if Iran does not sign the agreement, then the entire country will be destroyed. So yet another warning coming in from the US President Donald Trump. We saw just a few days earlier how he spoke about ending an entire civilization. And now this time, once again to the US media, Donald Trump has said that if Iran does not sign the agreement this time, in the second round of negotiations that is set to take place tomorrow, then the entire country will be destroyed. Now remember, we've been seeing over the last few days the kind of escalating rhetoric between the two sides, and now, in fact, Srinjoy is joining us on the broadcast to give us more details on this. Srinjoy, we've been seeing on both sides how the war of words is only escalating, even as both sides are now preparing for the second round of negotiations in Pakistan. Before that, Donald Trump making it clear that they are not going to back down. If Iran does not agree with the conditions set by the United States, then they could go ahead and destroy the entire country.
In the past, the president has spoken about bombing Iran into the Stone Age, something similar to what people in the Johnson and perhaps before that the Kennedy administration said about Vietnam. And apart from that, there's been this talk about destroying a civilization, and now, as you rightly said, destroy every bridge, hit every bridge and every power station, and so on. So that is from the American side, principally the president himself. The other side, Iran too, has made similar rhetoric. Unfortunately, what it does is makes life very difficult for the negotiators, because already people have hardened their stances. So therefore, negotiation becomes that much more difficult.
Right. Absolutely. So both sides now escalating the tensions between each other. At least the kind of comments that have come in from both sides clearly show that neither side is ready to back down at the moment. Thank you, Srinjoy, for joining us on the broadcast and giving us those details. In fact, we're getting in more news coming in because the Iranian media is claiming that there is currently no decision by Iran to in fact send a negotiating delegation to Pakistan as long as there is a naval blockade. So they make it quite clear that on the one hand, because the naval blockade is still on, Iran might not even send their delegation. While the US media, of course, is reporting that there is a 3-member delegation that has been prepared by Iran, it appears that at the moment, Iran may not even send their delegation in the first place. However, US reports has shared the list of the delegates who will be part of the peace talks in Islamabad. As per the US media, the US delegation will consist of the US Vice President J.D. Vance and also Steve Witkoff, the US Special Envoy to the Middle East, and Jared Kushner as well, who is the US Special Envoy for Peace Missions. From the Iranian side, there are 3 leaders who are expected. One of them is Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, who is the Speaker of Iran's parliament and also one of the most vocal voices in the war so far. Then, of course, you have Abbas Araghchi, who is Iran's serving foreign minister. And then you also have Ali Bagheri Kani, who is Iran's former acting foreign minister. So these are the 3 leaders from Iran who will take part in this meeting should the delegation visit Islamabad tomorrow. On the other hand, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has sharply questioned the United States authority to restrict Iran's nuclear program. In fact, he says that the United States has no legal basis to deny Iran access to nuclear technology or its nuclear rights, adding that such demands lack justification under international norms. Pezeshkian is also directly criticizing the US President Donald Trump, asking who is he to deprive a nation of its rights. Reiterating Iran's position, he also stressed that Tehran is not seeking to widen the conflict and it has not initiated any wars and does not intend to attack any country, adding that it is exercising its legitimate right to self-defense. Now, these remarks come as both sides still remain divided on several critical issues that is keeping the war still on the boil. With the temporary ceasefire set to expire on Wednesday, adding further uncertainty to the already tense situation in the Middle East. In fact, the Iranian leader also said that the continuation of the conflict will not be in the interest of any party. So Iran making it clear that they also want a ceasefire because at the moment, this war is really headed nowhere. We are not seeking to expand the scope of the war. This is what the Iranian president says. And he also says that the US President Trump has no justification to deprive Iran of its nuclear rights. He also says that Iran can't make use of its nuclear rights, but doesn't say for what crime. Who is he to deprive a nation of its rights? That was the statement that had come in from the Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian.